Hello guys, welcome to our show. Today we discuss about Amazon, how you can set up your marketing, sell products and get results. It's very important today because this channel works well. I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Prabhat Shah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Anatoly. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I think it depends on positive mindset. If you set up the right mindset, then everything will be fine, whatever happens, wherever you are. And I think it's the same with Amazon advertising. You need to set up the right marketing campaign. Before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about Amazon marketing.
Yeah, so Amazon marketing or Amazon advertising, it's a great step for Amazon sellers because you can position your products strategically on the top of the search or anywhere else, so to say. Just to give you an example, so if you are trademarked or brand registered, you can position your products on the top of the search as a brand search result, which is right at the top with a banner on the left and three products. So that's strategically very important. Like that, we can set our products to target competing products. So if there are any competing products, which normally are, you can target that particular ASIN or that category. So we can display our product underneath saying sponsor related products when somebody goes into competing products. So for these all reasons, yeah, Amazon ads are much more important than what it was in the past.
Yeah, I'm interested about how Amazon algorithms work because when I use Amazon trying to buy something, I usually see sponsor advertising in the beginning. Then I can scroll down and find results naturally. So, can you tell how to get these naturally results without paying for any ads? What kind of actions I need to do to get these organic positions?
Yeah, fantastic questions. Yeah, for anybody who can sell more without advertising, it's brilliant because you can save money in your ad spend, right? So
Yeah.
there are a couple of criteria that we need to look at to rank better. In fact, I think nobody knows what actual algorithm, how algorithm itself works. But based on the
Mhm.
experience we have working with lots of sellers in the UK and around the world, we found out a couple of things that's not a secret that everybody knows that can help. Is starting with the content itself. Like content is the king, as you know. So when with that in mind, we need to put a right keyword in the title, and there are other areas of the product page that we can insert keywords as well. Like for example, bullet points. We've got descriptions and backend search terms. And a lot of people do sort of ignore the technical details, which is generally in the more details tab, and it's a little bit time consuming to work our way through, but it's important to fill those details in. So,
Mhm.
in conclusion, title is the most important part. We need to put correct keywords or relevant keywords there, and then I'll work our way through other areas of the product page because, of course, we can't include everything on the title itself. So, and there are various tools out there, if I may say, to that will help you find out the right keyword. In the US, there is a tool from ACMRUS called SalesZone. You may have heard, or a lot of people who are listening to the podcast might have used ACMRUS already. So there is a inbuilt tool called SalesZone within the ACMRUS that will allow you to find the uh, keywords that's relevant to your product. And there is two ways of doing that. One, we can put a seed keyword in. Say, for example, if you are selling a product relating to headset, for example. So if you put headset in there, it will give you the related keywords with the headset, and also it will give you the monthly search volume. And you can obviously prioritize the right keyword for a particular listing. Like that, there is also reverse async check, so meaning we can put in a certain ASIN number within the tool itself, and it will throw you the keywords that's relevant to that product. So There are plenty of tools out there, that you can use for doing the keyword research. I'm sure they all use Amazon data to give you the right result. So, other than the content, then we can work our way through other criterias, like, for example, product reviews. Having the product reviews help a lot to build the trust amongst the customer. And once there is a trust, there is conversion. When there is a conversion, there is a ranking. So, yes, reviews may not have, I don't want to say it's a direct impact, but in turn, there is an impact in conversion, which in turn gives a ranking on the product itself. And we are in a situation, when we are launching a product, you don't have a review on the product, you can't sell well, and you can't sell well without the review. So we are in a difficult situation there. To help you mitigate this issue, there is a program called Amazon Vine. And again, none of the things which we are talking is secret. Okay, everybody knows about this. It's about getting and reminding yourself about the process involved on this. And this Amazon Vine will cost you or charge you a certain sum of money. Here in the UK, it's £140, plus we give the products for free. And Amazon distributes these products amongst the related customer, and customers write the review of that product. So we have done it time and time with all the products we launch, and every time we found out that once the reviews kick in, the sales has gone up. One thing I like to outright say that the reviews we get, we cannot guarantee it's a 5-star review. It can be not 5-star, it can be 3-star, 2-star, we don't know. So there is a risk involved. So um, what I would suggest is, if you are not 100% confident about the product, if you have not tested the product elsewhere, test that product elsewhere before you enroll into Vine, because you might end up having a true review or experience of that particular person, which may not be always positive. However, saying that, generally we do get positive review on using the Vine. So that's another factor that does help in the ranking the product. So other factors are, like, for example, conversion. And this is something which surpasses everything else. For instance, so I've seen so many listings on Amazon across the globe, that the quality of the listing, the images, the bullet points, the description aren't very good. However, there is sales. So the sales are there because the brand is known outside of Amazon, and people know what it is, and people buy it because they know, they don't have to check what it is, they just buy it. So in that situation, the product will rank better no matter what the content is. So so brand knowledge and awareness of the brand, you can see away from Amazon, is so important as well. And recently we've heard and we've seen that Amazon is favoring the products that has got external traffic to the product page itself. So I, I c- it's good to run the campaigns, whether Google ads or whether it's a social ads, towards the Amazon page as well. That will help you to rank better on that page, and hopefully conversion, and that will end up ranking your product well. Lastly, I'd like to say about fulfillment. So fulfillment is so important that Amazon has leveraged this to the extent that people wouldn't buy a product if it is not Prime. And it's such a great loyalty tool that you pay one of annual fee, and you get access to this free delivery, next day delivery, all the year round. And if any product, or if there is a comparison between a next day delivery and non next day delivery, obviously a lot of people would go for a Prime delivery itself. So it's such an interesting loyalty tool they've used. Um, so it's good to try out the Prime. I know there is a cost involved. It's good to check that cost beforehand. There is a Amazon FBA cost chart that you can check, and based on that, you can price the product appropriately and do the Prime. Meaning send stock to Amazon warehouse with FBA. For a consumer, it's called Prime. For sellers, we know it as a FBA. If you are not 100% sure, if
Hmm.
it is costing a lot of money, use very limited amount of stock, send it to Amazon and see what happens. It's such a low scale, low cost test that you'll only benefit from it rather than losing it. So these are the certain criterias, I would say, that will help rank better organically on Amazon.
Yeah, valuable, interesting. By the way, customers distrust when products have only 5-star reviews. So sometimes you need to have negative reviews as well. By the way, negative reviews, as Bill Gates mentioned, that negative reviews can help to develop and innovate your products. So when you get negative reviews, you know the way what you need to fix. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah, absolutely. So sorry to hold you on that. So with negative reviews, I completely agree. However, we need to think that we don't get too many negatives, because
yeah.
if we are looking at 3.5 star product, it will basically kill the product. Amazon wouldn't even promote it. Sometimes you can't even advertise it if it is not less than 4.5 star product. So it's important not to get
Yeah,
too many negatives.
yeah, I agree. Marketing can't help bad products. Sales can't help bad products. Yeah, of course, quality is the first thing. What you need to do, then to jump with anything else. I'm interested about these reviews because I usually read them. Before buying, I usually check out ratings, reviews, and then I decide to buy or not. Uh, but I found a few studies that most customers distrust Amazon reviews. I don't remember exactly the number, probably 40% or 60%, something like this. Many people distrust Amazon reviews. Why? I think I don't have this feeling, but many people distrust. Can you tell what is the reason why people distrust Amazon reviews?
I think it's a natural, natural. We are naturally drawn to those star things. If you talk about movies, and if you talk about movies that you can see on the magazine when there are reviews, then people do read it, to trust it. And if you talk about new movies coming out, you check out the reviews in the newspaper. So it's a natural thing to do, I think, when you think
Hmm.
about reviews itself. So Amazon have just used that to the best it can do on the product pages. So we have got text. We used to have just text review. So a seller or a buyer, sorry, couldn't leave a review without inserting text into the review. But now you can write a review without a text, meaning you can just leave a stars. And as it has made a little bit easier for buyers to write a review. And because that's natural for people checking that, whether it's
Hmm.
100% true or not, that there is a big question there, because we know there are lots of fake reviews on Amazon. We know a lot of people game the system. We know that. And we also know Amazon have taken lots of reviews away. However, the principle of reviews stays on. I don't think that's going to change. The way
Hmm.
it's done, it might change, but the way people react to it, it's not going to change. So, because it's natural to check, and sometimes we don't even read the review, we check how many reviews are there. So, if there is 1,200 reviews, that's a natural for somebody to think, oh, this is a right product for me to buy. At the same time, I'll take you to eBay on that respect. On eBay, the natural thing a lot of people check is the feedback of the seller itself. So how much feedback they have, and then natural check there is how many products it has sold. So if a
Hmm.
product has sold 200 units or 2,000 units, then you would think this has sold certain units. It's natural that somebody would trust that. So I can only say it's natural behavior for somebody to check the review, even if they don't read the text, they trust it. And that does help a conversion in run. If it is not to work, if you take it other way around, if there is no reviews, if there is no trust in the reviews, then Amazon wouldn't invest in this Vine program. And it's so important that at the early time, um, or early days, Amazon used to charge £500 for one ASIN Asin's wine reviews. That was
Mhm.
the cost, and that's in the vendor account. But when now it comes into seller central account, the obviously wine review was free at some point, but now they are charging a very small sum of money. So I hope
Yeah.
this answers what you were asking.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about content. Once I got a client. I helped him with website promotion, but he asked me about issue on eBay. It's not Amazon, but I think we can describe this example and move to Amazon as well. And he asked me why his products, why eBay ignores organic reach for his products, but he has much better price than competitors, but products are the same. Then I check out content of his competitors and found that competitors can write awesome description to his products, to submit high quality pictures. So I told him, check out, it's not only to add products, even if you have the same products, but you need to give a strong reason, to eBay, probably Amazon, even on Google, when you write description, you need to write awesome text that will sell products, that will help customers to understand what kind of products you have. Can you tell about Amazon, how it's important to write unique text that will sell high quality text, not only for the sake of having it, because he replied to me, nothing specific, I just use text from official websites, but I don't think it's a good idea. Can you tell more about writing, selling text on Amazon?
Right. So there is the thing I would say might be controversial in some ways, and I don't want to lower the work that a lot of content writers do, but also I don't want to overemphasize on the content itself because take an example of Dove soap. What else I can write about Dove soap that is different that is on the Dove soap website? It's very less, right? But if there are any products, let for example, we talk about organic coffee, and that organic coffee may be from a single farm. So single farm means the coffee comes from not multiple smaller farms. The coffee beans is grown in one big farm, and it comes from that big farm only, and it's organically produced. So there is something to write about it, and that's important because somebody who drinks coffee, they understand what single origin coffee means. Somebody will understand what's organic means. So we need to then emphasize those details onto the product page. Now, what do you mean by emphasize? Emphasize means we need to make sure that is on the upper fold of the product page, maybe on the title, maybe on the first few bullet points. Then in addition to that, on the left hand side, when you look at the Amazon product page, you see the title. Left hand side, you see an image of the product. So on that image of the product, then we need to emphasize those details as well. Amazon have recently changed the way the image display. So rather than clicking on the multiple image, you can scroll as well on the desktop. So you can scroll it towards the top, like we've got scrolling habit of doing Facebook or Instagram or all that sort of thing. So we see that. So we don't want to write for the sake of writing it. We don't want to put too much details and kill the content. However, if there is a very important part, that's what we are discussing that right now, we want to make sure they are there on the top so that we don't hide it. And once we do that, then I think our product page will be differentiated compared to any other product pages.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Let me share an example. For
Yeah.
example, my son asked me to buy a soccer ball on Amazon. And I told him, okay, let's choose the right soccer ball. Uh, uh, we used search, and then I found that he usually checks out, pictures, photos.
Mhm.
He doesn't read anything else. So
Mhm.
probably he doesn't need this text, anything else. because he sees these pictures. For me, it's important to read features because I usually read features to understand, to use my logic, to buy products. So customers are different. My wife, she has different approach to analyze. She reads reviews, stars, and check out pictures as well. So all customers are different. How to learn customers before adding products? Because we have different preferences, different interests, different methods of searching for products, and it's important to add content that your customers wanna see. Let us know more about learning customers.
Yeah, so I think it's a good question. I think you're going towards finding out what's our target audience and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but it's also a little bit difficult to quantify. For example, a football can be bought by mum, it can be bought by a child. Well, not child as such, but you can say child can influence that decision because they can search for all the product and then send link to the to father. That's what my son does. He chooses things on Amazon and sends me the link, and I'm supposed to buy it. But he searches for that particular product. I think what we need to think about is all the touch points on the listing. So I'm a little bit diverting your topic question there, rather than putting a product that is for women or for the child or for the adult. We need to look at multiple touch points. How customers see the product and in what angle. Now, we've already discussed about the text. We've already discussed about the details. What we've not touched base, rightly, is the images. And like you've suggested, your son looks at the images itself. Now, when we talk about images, we call the image itself infographics, and which you might have heard the word infographics, and it's everywhere these days. And in last couple of years, it has taken a lot of importance to it. Like we see captions, when we talk about videos, we talk about captions now all the time, captions all the time. You have seen LinkedIn doing auto captions now on the video. So like that on Amazon, or on eBay or on a website, we talk about infographics. When somebody sees the product, like you said, they might not want to read the text, they might not read the text, but they look at maybe a review, and it's sort of unconsciously they may see the stars, and they go onto the left hand side and flick the image. Are there different angles of the image? Now, are these images doing its purpose? Meaning, are they talking about the size and dimensions of the product? Are they talking about the features of the product? Are they talking about uniqueness, any other unique selling point of the product? That becomes important. Because if we are able to do that, and say, for example, we got somebody to attract, so we attracted somebody to infographics of our product page. Now, if you look on the mobile device, there are titles, there are bullet points, there are images. You flick through the image, below the image, there is a buy now button. If we are able to convince a buyer by just looking at that, we had a sale. Because if we allow people, or if the people customers goes towards the other parts of the product pages, you can see ads pops from here, there, all the time. That's very, very common thing to have, and we don't want to, we can't 100% avoid it for sure, but if we are able to put a information on the image section with some text which talks about the product itself, we've done a good job. And when we look at that part, then we've more or less, completed the touch point. Now we've got one more thing left with this video. And as without me saying, the use of video is a lot more than what it was in the past. Um, you know, uh, I want to avoid talking about TikTok, but I can't avoid it completely because that nature now is inbuilt in us. Although I personally don't prefer it, it's not about me anymore. It's about what customers want. And that video thing now, it's not only on everywhere on the TikTok. You can see the video on Twitter now. In Twitter feed, you can see short videos coming up. You can see video coming in Facebook a lot more. You can see anywhere else. Now that search video or the nature of the video itself is quite attractive to anybody else. And in Amazon product page is not far away now. Amazon already allows video on that. eBay is already allowing it, and Etsy already allows it. So all these platforms are already allowing that. Now, what does that video do? So when you've got multiple images and there's a video, you click on the video, you give very good information about the product, a quick introduction about how it's used, job done. We don't have to make that video, very long. Short information, quick information about the product, how it's used, maybe some USPs, and that's job done. So I think the initial questions you were asking about different audience and how we know that audience. So I've sort of not answered that directly. I've gone in to talk about different touch points of the buyer. And as we cover these touch points of the buyer, whether it is middle-aged person, whether it's a man, woman, or a child, we're at least covering all the aspects of the
Yeah,
customer.
valuable, valuable. Um, I have the question about common mistakes. Can you list mistakes that businesses still do advertising on Amazon and how to find a much better way today?
Yes, so I think it's advertising itself is not a difficult task. Anybody can do it, but we need to follow sort of make a some sort of system. And I would say it's better to create some sort of process um, rather than just jumping into it without any thought. It's not a mistake, but a lot of people do that way. So, what's the process mean? So, for example, there are three main kinds of advertising campaigns, but popularly sponsor product ads, brand ads, and display ads. So, brand and display ads are only available for trademarked accounts and with a brand registry, whereas sponsor products ads are available for everyone. So, it's always good to have some sort of plan in place, and that's very simple plan, meaning you put a list of products, you put a list of different campaigns, and then start way through. So for example, auto campaigns, manual campaigns, and product targeting, category targeting within the sponsor ad. So you create that process so that you make sure you try all these. um, if we are able to do that, then we create our own process and we make sure that things have been done. So sometimes we may not advertise everything in the account. So it's good to create that process. And then once we have that process in place, certainly we get result better in some products and we may not get result in other product. But what's mistake to do is not advertise our products. We must at least advertise all the products and um, then action and react based on the result we get. At this stage, if you are starting, you may want to start with automated ads that will allow you to target the relevant keywords, relevant products automatically based on your content. If your content and if your category is not right, then it's not going to be targeted appropriately. So get the content right, and your automated ads will also target um, the right keywords and right products itself.
Yeah, got it. And we have the question about using AI in advertising options. I think Amazon, I don't know about that, but everyone uses AI today. Big companies like Amazon invest a lot of money to AI tools. I know on Google, it's sophisticated mechanism, and today it's not the right time to game the system. It's better
Yeah.
to play by rules because of this AI technology. Yeah, what do you think about AI on Amazon?
Yeah, so I've got to say, I've only heard about it. I personally haven't used intelligent tools that will allow to change the bids, optimize the bids itself. But what I know of is if Amazon advertising has different tools, for example, external tools, there are lots of external tools in the market. So where the system will go in and check the bids, and it will change the bids based on competing products. So sometimes, you put a threshold of bids up to go $5, and it can, as long as there is a threshold of $5 max, it will change the bid based on the other competing products. So it's not a bad thing. It's always a good thing to have that artificial intelligence, because it avoids us going and checking things again and again, checking things again and again. It's good. However, we need to think also of capping that spend and capping that bidding. So understand how that works. It may work at some point, but if before it works, we've got to spend a lot of money for the system to understand what it does. Now, interestingly, a lot of people may know already that Amazon itself have already introduced the budget rules, saying that so you can increase the budget as long as your conversion rate is in a certain threshold. Um, or your CPC in a certain threshold. So that's interesting. So, in maybe 5 years' time, there may be Amazon introducing those tools itself. So, and that works. I have tried those budgeting rules, and it works really well because I don't have to keep checking the budget, and it works. And
Mhm.
like that, they have also started to introduce bidding rules as well. So I don't see that in all the accounts, but I certainly see in some accounts that I work with, there's bidding rules. So I like this artificial intelligence. I like the idea behind it, but I think we need to be in control of it at all times, at least by capping the spend or checking it periodically. Otherwise, it's going to waste a lot of money out there.
Yeah, got it. I have the final question. Let's imagine you started from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills about Amazon. What will you do today to learn more about Amazon advertising?
Okay, so the first thing to do is to look up. There are obviously Amazon advertising learning portal. There's what they call learning console. You can learn through that, and that certainly gives you a really good knowledge. And the secondly, if you are new to advertising but you've got the product listed correctly on your Amazon account, start with automated ads. And do not hesitate. You are not, honestly, you are not going to do anything wrong. You are not going to waste money, because you can always put a cap. You can put a cap of $2 a day, $5 a day. That's not a big deal to start with, and learn from it, because once you put a cap on it and let the products run, or the advertising campaigns, after a couple of days, maybe 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week, you will see a keywords that's relevant to your products, and that's users are searching, because Amazon displays what they call search terms. So you don't even now need to go and download the report within your dashboard, where your campaign is there. So you've got a campaigns going to your ad groups, and there is a tab on your left hand side you see as a search terms tabs. So I'm visualizing it. So when you actually go into and do it, you'll see the same thing. On your left hand side, you'll see search terms tab. And when you click on it, you'll see list of user keywords. And with that, there is something called filter. And I use filter a lot because it saves you a lot of time. And on that filter, you can easily filter out, you know, orders greater than zero or orders equals to zero, and then find out what's wasting money. And anything that is wasting money, obviously, we put them into negative. If it is a lot of money, we put them into negative. If it is spending just 2 cents or 3 cents or 5 cents, or few pennies, then maybe we need to rethink. Maybe let it go, leave it there for a while, because if it is relevant, let it spend a little bit more, because we may get conversion at later stage. But if it's spending a lot of money there, then you can put them into negative, so we don't spend additional dollars in there. So, and then we can take in the keywords that's working well and leave it there to run the automated ads, or you take those keywords out, um, and then run the manual campaigns. And with the manual campaigns, you can target those keywords that's working well. There are three kinds of targets. You've got a broad match, you've got a phrase match, and you've got an exact match. And I'm not going to suggest that exact is better than the broad or the other way around, because we've seen time and time and again that we've seen broad match working better than exact, and vice versa. So it varies a lot from product to product and type, category to category. So what I would suggest is try all three kinds of maths types with the same bits. What you can do to try it, you can put in a campaign, and within the campaign you can put three groups, and you can put all that three groups, same keywords, target, broad, phrase, and exact, and let the system decide. So we've got to trust the system to some extent, right? We got to trust it. Obviously we are in control because you are in control of the budget and bidding, but we got to trust the system to work sometimes. And we don't need to do all that campaigns all the same day. You can do, try out broad match for some time and then see what happens, and then go phrase and exact. So I've actually forgot what you were asking, but I'm just going to go on talking about all these
Yeah, how
steps.
to
So
learn about Amazon? Just any tips? If you started from scratch, have no knowledge how Amazon
yeah.
works, what the best way, the best practices to learn more about Amazon advertising?
Yeah, so yes, so I'll go back to the answer I've said in between. So Amazon got what they call learning console. It's not going to cost you anything. Like
Hmm.
Google got already got certification, as you know. Amazon also got that certification program. It's a learning console. It's free of cost. You'll get a lot of knowledge through that. Um, and other than that, if you're local to any local to your where you're living, join one of the meetups. I think it's good. We are back meeting people already, after some gaps. So join any of the meetups in your area, because when you talk to people, I know we are talking now, and online is good way to do things, but nothing compares with face-to-face communication and going and meeting and seeing people eye to eye, and trying to
Yeah.
understand what they do. So um, go and join any meetups in your local area. And even if you don't have local meetups, go far and go at least once in a year, because you'll learn so much through that. So going back, use the Amazon learning console and then join meetups. I think those two things will be great help if you don't know about Amazon advertising.
Nice, nice. Love it, love it. It's a big pleasure to get on the show, to learn from you. Tell our audience the best way how to reach out to you, how to learn more about you, how to follow you.
Excellent. So thank you, Anatoly, for that opportunity. So maybe I didn't introduce, I'm not sure. So yeah, we introduced myself as Prabhat. So my company is Online Seller UK. I'm obviously based in the UK, but I work with sellers around the globe. And if you want to learn anything about advertising, there is also a book I wrote. If you look for my name on Amazon.com or any other Amazon.co.uk or Italy or anywhere else, if you look for my name, Prabhat Shah, you will see a book called A to Z Guide to Amazon Advertising. And it's low key. It's not there to generate profit. It's to help sellers. So it's in the UK. It's £4.50 or something around that line, and there's ebook cheaper than that, and you can learn from that as well. But saying that, if you got any question after today, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And if you want to book a 15-20 minutes call to discuss about your Amazon strategy, and if you are stuck, if you have done ads but it's not performing well, let me know. Come back to us through Online Seller UK. There is a contact us form, and get back in touch. And I'm more than happy to spend 15-20 minutes just talking about your Amazon advertising.
Nice, nice, guys. You can find the links in the description below to social media profiles, to website, to a book, because I love reading books. I'm going to read it. Guys, I recommend 100% if you want to know more about Amazon advertising. If you want to sell products, then it's a must read. Okay, guys, love you. See you. Thanks again for your time. A big pleasure. Welcome back anytime to share more valuable insights. I love it. I think value is your fuel, because you share a lot of valuable insight. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
Thank you very much. All the best.